Please welcome the Senior Research Analyst Retailing for Euromonitor International, Tim Barrett, for an interview with the founder and CEO of Dollar Shave Club, Michael Dubin.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Does everybody need to stand up and shake off the afternoon doldrums?
Yeah, it's
Feel free to do
nap
it.
time for a lot of people. Well, my name is Tim Barrett. I'm a senior retailing analyst at the best market research company in the world, Euromonitor International. But enough about me. We're here to talk to Michael here, who is the CEO and founder of Dollar Shave Club. So for all those in the audience who may not be caught up right now, give us the story of Dollar Shave Club so far.
The story of DSC began in my apartment in 2011 with a simple idea, which was to make it easier and more affordable for guys to shop for their razors. If you buy your razor in the United States at a retail store, you have to fight the razor fortress. Well, first you have to drive to the store, which takes too much time, and then you have to find the razor fortress, which is a plastic locked case. And then you have to find somebody with the key, and that person is always doing something else, and they would prefer not to help you get your razors and get on with your life. And the price is very expensive. So DSC came to market with a beta site in July 2011, and then launched a video in 2012 that put us on the map, March 2012, with a very affordable, easy solution, which sends you your razors to your door for a couple bucks a month.
Great. And the big news in the past year has been the Unilever acquisition. So can you tell us a little bit about how that came about?
Yeah, sure. So I had dinner in New York with their president of North America in, I think it was December of 2015. And we were introduced by a mutual business contact, somebody at JP Morgan, because we both were in town at the same time. And we just started talking about each other's businesses, and it just became obvious pretty quickly that there was an interesting partnership that could be had there. And that was always the spirit of what we were looking to do with Unilever throughout the acquisition. The purpose of the acquisition was never, we were never looking to be sold. It was always, what can we learn from each other? How can we mutually benefit each other's organizations? And, we continue to be run as an independent company, and they've been wonderful so far.
And I think the acquisition, it marks, in your own language, Act 2 of Dollar Shave Club, right?
Yep. So that's how we talk about Dollar Shave Club internally. So Act 1 was all about the disruption of the razor business, and grabbing 20% of the market by volume and 10% by dollar share, and getting about 3.5 million subscribers, or people that get a shipment from us every month or every other month. Building the brand, getting to about 300 employees, and Act 2 is really about achieving more of a higher-minded mission, and that is the way we say it internally is to help guys take care of their minds and bodies so they can be the best versions of themselves. And that's a mouthful, but we like to think about guys and not men. So guys, if you think about the state of men's grooming, guys are a lot more evolved than they used to be, so to speak. If you used to spend too much time in front of the mirror, they would call you a metrosexual, and the implication was that you were somehow feminine if you cared about what you put on your face or your hair or your body, and that's not at all the case. Guys recognize the connection between what they put on their face, their hair, their body, and how confident and successful they are, and we want to help them on that journey. And that journey is sort of fraught with a lot of the frustrations and problems that existed in the razor space as well. They're a little bit different, they're a little bit more nuanced, but if you're a guy going out to shop for shampoo or hair cream or face cream or whatever, you're probably getting recommendations from friends that don't have the same hair and skin as you, and you're probably, or you're relying on a barber that has limited selection, and it can be challenging and very frustrating. So Act 2 is really all about solving a unique, different set of problems.
I think it goes without saying, too, that Act 2 is going to include some expansion. So I'd like to ask you a little bit about some possible paths of expansion for Dollar Shave Club.
So I think the way to think about expansion for us is in two places. One is category expansion, and the other one is sort of geographic expansion. So product expansion, we want to be the easiest place to get the things that you use every day in the bathroom to look, smell, feel your best. In the United States, we'll be launching an oral care line later this year. We're here at Shop Talk in Europe because we're excited to launch in Europe early next year. If anybody is interested in being a part of that journey, talk to our friend Bart, who's somewhere in the audience. Bart can help you. It's an exciting time for us as we think about how broad we can go geographically and categorically.
And what about physical stores? I know a lot of online-only companies have moved into physical stores, either through their own stores where they can kind of create and manage the brand, or also through wholesale and kind of more traditional avenues as well.
Yeah, I think that's interesting for us. We have purposefully stayed away from selling our products at mass retail. Other brands have chosen to do that, but for us, having that direct relationship with the customer is really important. One of the problems that guys face when they're thinking about their personal care or their grooming is when they go to the store, the people there don't know them. The clerk in the aisle doesn't know their face, their skin, their body, and those are the things that we'd like to know about the customer. So as we think about evolving our digital product platform and the way that we engage with our customer, we'll be getting a lot more information from them. And if you sell at retail, it's really tricky to do that. You can't do that as well as we want to, or at all. And so mass retail is probably not on the table for us, but in terms of our own branded retail environments, yeah, that's something that we've thought about quite seriously, but it's probably a little too early to share any details.
And what about changing up your model a little bit? Not that you divert, drastically, but plenty of subscription businesses have moved into a la carte purchases, or they've just seen more of their business shift away from subscriptions.
Yeah, I think subscription's a construct that we get asked about a lot. Should I build a subscription business? Should I not build a subscription business? And I think that subscription business for us was never the purpose. We never set out to build a subscription business and say, a lot of people do it because they love the concept of monthly revenue. They love, it looks really great on a spreadsheet when you click and drag on the cell and drag it out month to month and see how your revenue grows over time. And the only reason that you should develop a subscription model for your business is if it somehow enhances the customer experience. And that was the case for Dollar Shave Club and razors. Most people, most guys will milk their razors longer than is comfortable because they don't want to go out to the store. And we conditioned them with the subscription when that next box shows up to change your razor, which feels really, really good. And so the subscription element is an enhancement for us, for our customer. So we'll keep that component of it. But I think that one place that we have seen some resistance is the forced subscription. And again, we offer all kinds of tools for the customer to change their relationship with us. They can skip a month, they can pause for an indefinite period of time, and of course we make it really easy for them to cancel if the service isn't for them. But I think what you'll see over the next 6-12 months from us is an overhauling of our digital product platform to allow for more flexibility, and ultimately that's getting that right, because there is risk there too. Getting that right means you have to really kill it in the CRM game.
Sounds like it'd open up pathways for more personalization as well too.
Absolutely. I mean, again, the name of the game with a direct-to-consumer business is learning as much about your customer as you possibly can, and preferably from them themselves. If you're the kind of business that if you have a great degree of trust, if your customer trusts you a lot, then you can ask them questions about themselves and they'll answer them, and you can use that information to provide a better experience for them. And this is no secret. Anybody that's been in digital knows that that's the name of the game. But you do have to have that trust as an underpinning, and I believe we do.
Great. And we've talked a lot about expansion and moving forward, and you can't really have that without the impressive growth that you guys have had over the past 5 years. And a lot of people in the audience are here today to learn from that growth. So I'm curious if you might be able to address some of their concerns directly, specifically with regards to, what's the best advice you would give people in order to manage accelerated growth over a 5-period timeline like you have?
Well, I think, so a broad question for sure. I think that you have to, so when we first launched, we purposefully raised a lot of money so we could grow very quickly. We weren't the first business to sell razors on the internet. We're certainly not the last. It's all in the way that we do it. But we've been copied quite a bit by both, followers, by both big guys and small guys. And so we pursued rapid growth, but rapid growth isn't always the best thing. I think that it's more important for you to get your business right and dig a deep moat or build a high wall or whatever analogy you prefer. Make sure that your business has some unique constructs to it so that when you are ready to grow and pour new customers into the funnel, they do have great experience and you're able to retain them, and you have all those mechanisms in place, because the golden ratio in a direct consumer business is the CPA or the CAC, the customer acquisition cost to LTV ratio. And if that ratio is out of whack, you're not going to be in business very long, or you're not going to be able to raise money. And so we think a lot about that CAC to LTV ratio and how we optimize our digital product platform and our messaging and our CRM to drive that ratio in the right direction. But again, there are tons of holistic and intangible factors that go into whether or not your business is ready for a high growth. And in the early days, Dollar Shave Club was a very simple construct. It was 3 web pages, and it was purposefully designed to be that way. You could get in and out, take you 25 minutes to get in and out of the store to buy your razors. At DSC, it would take you, less than 3 minutes if you knew what you were doing. And so I think it's a long-winded way of saying, make sure that your store, your digital product, however you refer to it, is ready for growth before you dump customers into the funnel.
Would you say that it's best to start simple like you guys did?
I think it's best to always stay simple, and that's the beauty of a direct-to-consumer business, is that you can always modify your storefront, your funnel. You can manage the customer journey tailored to the person, and it's really hard to get that right at a per-person level, and we're a long way from perfecting it, to be sure, because it requires a lot of data infrastructure and a lot of engineering to get it right. But yes, I think it's really important for you to think about. You just got to keep the customer in mind.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned a little bit before about how you started the disruption. You basically started a war in the razor industry. And once you disrupt an industry, that's not the end. You don't just walk away with your bag of money. You got to fend off a lot of competitors. And I'm curious at how you've gone to differentiate yourself. I think particularly while you've also helped to commoditize the razor industry. Yep.
I think that so Dollar Shave Club, like I said, in Act 2, and not just in Act 2. I mean, we've been selling grooming products now for years, since 2013 when we launched our first non-razor product, which was a pre-shaved treatment. I think that we want to become known for being like I said, the easiest place to get everything that you use to look, smell, feel your best, be confident, be successful. We also have a very robust content engine. We have a staff of about 20 people that run our content platforms. Part of that exists at melmagazine.com, and then we port some of that stuff over to Dollar Shave Club original content. So that we're providing, like I said in the beginning, our mission is to help you take care of your body and your mind. So again, it's not just just enough to sell you products for your body. We also want to deliver you content that you enjoy that both helps you look and smell and feel your best and also evolve your mind. I mean, we cover very interesting lifestyle topics like cops who meditate and things like that, things that help you be a better man. And we think we're filling actually quite an interesting hole in the men's lifestyle editorial space. So you've got the GQs and the Esquires on the high side, which is the necktie you can't tie and the girl you'll never get and the car you can't afford. And then on the low side, there's the Chive and Bro Bibles in the world that are, kind of like glorified soft porn. And then there's nothing in the middle for normal guys that have, have real feelings. But, it's like there's just not a, I don't think there's a business out there in our space that's weaving all of these things together at the intersection of content and commerce and mind and body and then eventually physical and digital the way that we are. And so, like I said, we're not the first business to sell razors on the internet. We're not the last, but we're so much more. I think right now the consumer thinks of us that way, but very soon we'll start to tell a very different story. And I don't think that's something that anybody can really duplicate.
So, Dollar Shave Club for normal guys with feelings.
That's a good tagline. Can I take that?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you.
So competition just doesn't only come from the razor companies you disrupted, but also the looming retail giants that also populate the internet sphere. How does one hope to compete against companies such as Lars' Amazon? Right. So I think that it's an interesting question because we think a lot about that, and Amazon's not going anywhere, and it's even on a global scale. You can't just think about Amazon. You have to think about Alibaba and others. There are many giants out there who have millions and millions, hundreds of millions of customers that they can reach and certainly sell their razors, and in some cases even more affordably. And I think that if you want to survive in the let's just call it the Amazon world, which is the way we refer to it in the United States, and perhaps there's another proxy in Europe, but if you want to survive, I think there's two keys. One is category specificity, and category expertise is the other one. You have to be able to become known for delivering a service that's far and away above what anybody else is offering, and you have to be an expert at that. And you take hair cream for example, which is not something that everybody needs, but it's like there's if you're getting a recommendation from your barber whose hair is nothing like yours, or you're trying to figure this out in store, the guy there or the girl there isn't very helpful, and you end up getting really frustrated. So wouldn't it be great if you could talk to an expert that had a targeted product just for you, and maybe even video chat with them, not only get product tips but get styling tips as well, face to face. It's hard to imagine the personal care and grooming category is a very big category, but it's hard to imagine some of those bigger players developing robust, service-based, customer-first experiences like that in those categories. And so I think that there is a path. I'm hopeful that we're going to prove it in the next few years that you really can be a category giant in the so to say Amazon world. Do you think using real people as sort of men's grooming Sherpas will be part of the future, or will most of this be isolated to the content itself that comes with the product?
I think it has to be both. I think that we may be moving to a better balance of physical and digital in the commerce universe, but a lot of the things that really worked in physical retail for the last 100 years plus, 1,000 years plus, depending on how far you want to go back, is you have to have a human being that you can interact with. We don't just want to look at screens. We don't just want to click buttons, and we want to engage with another human being that hopefully knows something about us, and that worked for a very, very long time. And so, however we can duplicate that in a scalable way in the digital universe, we will try to do that.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I want to thank you today for coming out here and answering my questions and sharing all your knowledge with these wonderful people here at Shop Talk.
Thank you for having me.